We're back talking hockey here, everyone, and today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite Nhl Dfs plays for this Monday, October 16th slate. Like I always do, I'll kick it off with a couple of my favorite line stacks. We'll then dive into some of my favorite individual plays, and then wrap it up with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. With that being said, let's dive right into this. And we got 5 games on this slate tonight. Let's go through those here quickly. First game, we got a Chicago taking on the Maple Leafs, where Toronto is favored at minus 345. We got the Coyotes taking on the Rangers, where the Rags are favored at minus 230. Panthers taking on the Devils, where the Devils are favored at minus 185. Red Wings taking on the Blue Jackets, where Detroit's favored at minus 120. And the Flames taking on the Capitals, where the Flames are favored at minus 115. You can see we have an over-under of 7 goals in 3 of these games, and the other 2 games coming in at 6.5. Now, I'm also bringing back the schedule updates here, just so you guys know what to expect in terms of content week in and week out on Slydog Sports. Putting this week's schedule up on the screen here right now, and do note, everybody, I am traveling for work this week, going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, going to be very busy with a conference there, but I'm still going to get this content out to you guys, just might slightly be delayed compared to when you usually expect it. With all that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight. First being that second line for the New Jersey Devils. We got Jack Hughes centering Tyler Toffoli and Jesper Bratt. A more expensive line stack for sure, but these guys have been off to a terrific start in their first 2 games, combining for 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points in those 2 games, essentially averaging 5 points per game. And a good matchup at home here against the Florida Panthers, who are still without their top 2 defensemen in Brandon Montour and Aaron Ekblad. And I just love the correlation we get with this line here, all playing up on the number 1 power play together, plus the big minutes they get together 5-on-5. And then a cheaper line stack that I like here tonight is that second line for the New York Rangers. We got Philip Hedl centering Artemi Panarin and Alexis Lafreniere. They got a good matchup at home here tonight against the Arizona Coyotes, who are a very young team. And don't get me wrong, this Coyotes team definitely has some talent on it now, but I suspect they're still going to struggle defensively throughout the year. A team that allowed 3.60 goals per game last season, the 9th most in the NHL. So far, these 3 have been able to combine for 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points in the 2 games that they've played. You'll see Panarin up on the first power play, and then Hedl and Lafreniere down on the second power play. And so you're not getting the same correlation here with these 3 like you do with that second line that I highlighted for New Jersey. But needless to say, I'm very happy that all 3 are on the special teams. Again, especially considering how cheap Hedl and Lafreniere are. Now, folks, before we dive into some of these individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Every like, comment, and sub on this channel truly goes a long way with YouTube. You guys have been awesome so far this season. Let's keep that rolling and get Slydog Sports to 4,000 subs. The faster we can build this sports brand here, the more content we're going to be able to push out to you guys. With that being said, let's dive into these forward plays. And I was going through some of the higher price forward plays here for tonight. Alex DeBrincat for the Detroit Red Wings looks really nice, but I wanted to talk about his teammate and line mate for that matter in Dylan Larkin, priced at $6,700 on DraftKings here tonight, in a good matchup on the road against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, don't get me wrong, DeBrincat's been off to a hot start with his new team, but I don't want to sleep on Larkin here, and while he has just 2 assists in 2 games, he does lead this team here with 13 shots, as well as 17 shot attempts, and that's through 2 games, so I really like the numbers there. And this Columbus team is another team that should struggle defensively all year long. We've already seen them give up 4 goals to the Flyers in their first game, 3 goals last game to the Rangers, and we're going to see Larkin play up on that first line and number 1 power play tonight, and just log big minutes in general. The next guy I got on my list here then is William Nylander of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and everybody's talking about Austin Matthews here for the Maple Leafs, and don't get me wrong, you probably should be. Back-to-back hat tricks to start the season, averaging close to 46 DraftKings points per game. But again, I don't want to sleep on William Nylander here, priced at $6,700 on DraftKings tonight in a good matchup at home against the Chicago Blackhawks. He's got 3 goals, 2 assists himself so far in 2 games, and also leading the team in shot attempts with with 19. He does play down on the second line, but plays up on that number 1 power play. And what I like doing here is doing a little mini stack with him and John Tavares, or a 3-man stack with him, Tavares, and John Klingberg, who's going to play up on that number 1 power play with both of those guys. I then got Boone Jenner here of the Columbus Blue Jackets, priced at $5,400 on DraftKings tonight in a matchup at home against the Detroit Red Wings. Now, the Columbus Blue Jackets started the season by trying to spread out their forward talent throughout their top 3 lines, where Jenner was actually centering the third line. They obviously didn't like that after giving up 4 goals to the Philadelphia Flyers, because Jenner was back up on that first line centering Johnny Gaudreau in their second game against the New York Rangers. That bode very well for him. He ended up scoring a hat trick in that game, and his price didn't change here either at $5,400, so I'm willing to go back to that. He now leads the team with 3 goals and 4 points in 2 games, and also leads the team with shots on goal, playing up on that first line like I mentioned, and playing up on that number 1 power play. So again, considering the price and back to his normal role with Johnny Gaudreau, I like him here tonight. Now, dipping into a couple of forward plays here in the 4K range, first guy that I want to highlight is Logan Cooley of the Arizona Coyotes. He's priced at $4,500 on DraftKings here tonight in a matchup on the road against the New York Rangers. And look, this kid is loaded with talent. We saw that during the preseason, and he put that on display in his first regular season game as well, where he had 2 assists in that game, both coming on the power play, and played 19 plus minutes. He's already centering that second line, gets time on that number 2 power play, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be long before he's up on that number 1 power play, considering how talented he is. And then the other 4K forward play that I like here tonight is Evan Rodriguez of the Florida Panthers, where he's also priced at $4,500 in a matchup on the road against the New Jersey Devils. He's actually leading this Panthers team in both goals and points throughout the first 2 games of the season. He's also second on the team in shots, third on the team in shot attempts, really taking advantage of the early opportunity that he's getting on that first line and number 1 power play, playing with Alexander Barkov. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, and for the most part here, I think I will be spending down at the defenseman position tonight, looking to spend up for forwards and goaltenders, because there's a lot of value in the 3 to 4K range tonight at this position. But one guy I definitely would be willing to spend up for is Adam Fox of the New York Rangers, priced at $6,200 on DraftKings tonight, again in a matchup at home against the Arizona Coyotes. This is an offensively gifted defenseman who's already got 3 assists in 2 games, plays around 22 plus minutes, and you could put him as a one-off if you wanted to, but I'm more interested in stacking him up with forwards on that Rangers first line or their number 1 power play. But like I said, for the most part, I will be spending down at the defenseman position here tonight. One guy that I really like in the low 4K range is John Klingberg of the Toronto Maple Leafs, priced at $4,300 on DraftKings in a good matchup at home against Chicago. Again, primarily targeting him on that Leafs number 1 power play, which has been lethal to start the season, scoring at a 57% rate through their first 2 games. An unsustainable number, but there is a lot of talent on that number 1 power play. Playing 22 plus minutes per game so far to start the season, where he's racked up 3 assists in 2 games. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be long before he's in the upper 4K range, low 5K range, as long as he remains on that Leafs number 1 power play. And then getting into some further value here in the low 3K range, I like Sean Durzi of the Arizona Coyotes tonight, priced at $3,400 on DraftKings. Again, on the road here against the New York Rangers. You can play him as a one-off if you wanted to, or stack him up with that Coyotes number 1 power play. Looked good in his first game with his new team, scoring a goal in that game and putting up 3 shots on net. Plus, I love that he was playing in all situations, both on the power play and penalty kill, where he logged 23 minutes. And then I got Luke Hughes here of the New Jersey Devils, priced at $3,300, again in a good matchup at home against the Florida Panthers tonight, and we can certainly play him as a one-off if we wanted to, or stack him up with that Jack Hughes line that I highlighted earlier, because all 3 of those forwards will be playing on the same power play with Luke Hughes. I know that's a little confusing with all the Hughes names that I'm throwing out, but we got a little brother correlation there as well, and while Luke hasn't found the score sheet quite yet, he is logging solid minutes, played 17 minutes in his first game, 20 in his second, and again, just getting time on that same power play with Jack Hughes, Tyler Toffoli, and Jesper Bratt gives him a lot of offensive upside. And then I got a couple of goaltenders here for you guys, and I'm definitely not afraid to spend up at the goalie position here tonight. Another guy that I would be willing to spend up for that I'm not going to highlight is Vitek Vanacek of the New Jersey Devils. Good matchup at home against Florida, who loves to shoot the puck. But the first guy I'm going to highlight here is Joseph Woll of the Toronto Maple Leafs, priced at $8,300 in a good matchup at home against the Chicago Blackhawks. Look, the Leafs are heavy home favorites tonight. They got a money line of minus 345, and we don't have a lot to go off of here for Woll. He played just 7 games in the NHL last year, but in those games, he truly was terrific. He had a save percentage of .932 and a goals allowed average of 2.16 while going 6-1-0. And again, they are catching this Blackhawks team here playing their 4th road game in 7 days. A young Chicago team that's probably ready to get home. And then the other goaltender that I want to highlight here is Jacob Markstrom of the Calgary Flames, priced at $7,800 here tonight in a matchup on the road against the Washington Capitals. And look, Markstrom hasn't been great in his first 2 games to start the season, but I watched that Washington Capitals team the other day against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they are a very slow team, did not look good at all offensively, so I'm willing to go here to Markstrom based off of that matchup. Look, he has won 1-0 here to start the season. He did win his first game against the Winnipeg Jets, almost put up 20 DraftKings points in that win. If he were to get me that here tonight, I'd be very satisfied with that, and for what it's worth, the Flames are favored to win this matchup with a money line of minus 115. And as always, going to wrap up the video here with 3 low-priced options or sub 4K forward plays. First guy that I got here is Adam Fantilli of the Columbus Blue Jackets, another rookie who's loaded with talent, priced at $3,700 on DraftKings here tonight, currently playing on the second line with Patrick Laine, also playing on the number 2 power play. He's got 1 assist through 2 games, but I did love the increase that he got in ice time from his first game to the second game. Played 13 minutes in game 1, 16 minutes in game 2, and honestly, I don't think it's going to be long before he's flirting with that 20-minute mark. I then got Andrew Kopp of the Detroit Red Wings, priced at $3,400 in a good matchup tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And look, Andrew Kopp did not play well with Detroit last year, his first year with the Red Wings, but he has played very well in his first 2 games with them this year. He had 5 shots on net in game 1, putting up almost 12 DraftKings points, had an assist and 3 shots on net last game, also 3 block shots, leading to 16.5 DraftKings points, playing around 18 minutes per game, and actually leading this team right now in expected goals while playing on that second line and number 2 power play. And then I got Matthias Maselli of the Arizona Coyotes, who's priced at $3,100 here tonight on DraftKings. He is naturally known as a playmaker, but had 5 shots on net in his first game of the season against the New Jersey Devils, where he played about 16.5 minutes, put up 10.5 DraftKings points, while playing on that third line and number 2 power play. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 5-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.